Hello grade 7s and good morning! I'm Miss Rensky Tinules and I'll be one of your teachers for today's lessons. We have a lot of topics for you today, mainly focuses on values and the importance of education. But before we proceed on our first discussion, let us first bow our heads and close our eyes for our prayer. Dear Lord and Father of all, thank you for today. Thank you for ways in which you provide for us all. For your protection and love, we thank you. Help us to focus our hearts and minds now on what we're about to learn. Inspire us by your Holy Spirit as we listen and write. Guide us by your eternal light as we discover more about the world around us. We ask all of this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Hello everyone, I am Micaela May El Palma. You can call me Teacher Mika and I am your teacher for today. So before we begin our discussion, let's do a energy booster game. The game is called 4 Picks and 1 Word. Sounds familiar, right? Okay, so the mechanics of the game is very simple. I will show you 4 pictures and you need to guess the word to complete the missing letters. Are you ready? Let's start. First word. The correct answer is Max Scheler. Next. The correct answer is hierarchy. Next. The correct answer is spiritual. And last. The correct answer is value. So congratulations to everyone who got the right answers. So those words are related to our topic for today. Our topic is about the Max Scheler's hierarchy of values. What is values? Values comes from the Latin word valere, which means to measure the worth of something. Also, it can be the person's principle, standards of behavior, or one's judgment to what is important in life. What is hierarchy? Hierarchy is the arrangement of things or items which are represented as being above, below, or at the same level. It is a system or organization in which people or groups are ranked one above the other according to status or authority. What is hierarchy of values? Hierarchy of values refers to an ordered list of social values that influence judicial decision making. The hierarchy of values is according to Max F. Scheler. It has 4 components: the values of the holy, spiritual values, vital values, and pleasure values. Who is Max Scheler? Max Scheler is born on August 22, 1874 and died on May 19, 1928. He is a German philosopher and known as the foremost exponent of axiology. Let's start at the bottom of hierarchy. Pleasure values pertain to the pleasant against unpleasant or agreeable against agreeable. Example is sensual feelings and experience of pleasure or pain. This means that pleasant against unpleasant in the eyes of the individuals who is in the situation can be agreeable for someone who is looking for brighter side, but also can be agreeable in terms of morality. Vital values. Vital means the utmost importance or concerned with or necessary to maintenance of life. It also pertains to the well-being of an individual or community. Vital values is the set of beliefs and principles of actions in life, illness, and death of a person. They consist of the things in which a person gives importance when establishing his vital plans and that determine how he lives and what decisions he makes. For example, the lifestyle to follow, education, with whom to relate, or how to live old age. Spiritual values, also called the values of mind, refers to the discovery of meaning and purpose in life and behaviors. Values independent of the whole sphere of the body and of the environment, with spiritual acts of preferring love and hating. Values of the holy appears only in regard to objects intentionally given as absolute objects. It is the values that pertain to belief or unbelief, God or the other. Values of the holy has three kinds: spiritual, sensory, and vital. Spiritual, sense of moral or immoral. For example, every person has own perspective and belief either it is right or wrong. Second is sensory. It is the values that cater senses or pleasure. For example, food gives us enjoyment and satisfaction. And third is the vital. It is the life choices of a person. That's all for today. I hope you enjoy and learn something. See you again next time.
Welcome grade 7 students. I'm your teacher, Jamela. Our topic is all about identifying the internal factors that influence the formation of values. Internal factors affecting values and traits. First is values. It represents a specific mode of a conduct or end states of existence that involve judgment because they represent an individual idea of what is right, good, or desirable. So, what is values? Our values are important because they help us to grow and develop. They help us to create the future we want to experience. The decisions we make reflects our values, and they are also always directed towards a specific purpose. So, the second one is the trait. So, what is trait? It's a characteristics of the person that changes over time but should not change rapidly. They should be stable attributes of the person. So it represents a pattern of behavior, thinking, or feeling that is consistent over a variety of different situations, and also it is the only difference from person to person. There are few important factors that affect the values and traits of an individual in a society, the workplace, and among peers. So the first one is assertiveness. Assertiveness, it is the ability to honestly express your opinions, feelings, attitudes, and rights without undue anxiety. And this behavior earns the individual respect from others, while the others treat him with love as he is a man of self-respect. So the second one is the locus of control. So locus of control, it is the degree to which people believe they are masters of their own fate, that they control what happens to them, or believe what happens to them is controlled by outside forces. So the third one is the future orientation. It is defined as a degree to which collectively encourage and rewards future-oriented behavior such as planning and delaying gratification. These changes are individuals' morals, truth, process to be flexible, adaptive, and attain spiritual fulfillment. So the next one is self-esteem. An individual's degree of liking or disliking themselves and the degree to which they think they are worthy or unworthy as an influence on the change of their moral values and traits. So the next one, the gender egalitarianism. So men and women often think differently and would react to moral dilemmas in different ways. So women would favor care reasoning, they need and sacrifice, while men incline to favor fairness and rights, which is known as justice reasoning. So the next one is human orientation. An individual value changes positively and his character is modified by being supportive and considerate to society and peers, which also include his compassion and generosity. So the next one, the collectivism. A highly moral individual gives priority priority to group rights over individual rights, but his individualistic trait will remind him that each choice has consequences for which he will be held personally responsible. So the second to the last is the self-monitoring. Individuals who are in self-monitoring show adaptability in adjusting their behavior to external situational factors. They are highly sensitive to external cues and behave differently in different situations. So the last one is the risk-taking. People differ in their willingness to take chances and affects how long it takes to make a decision, and how much information they require before making a choice influences the internal trait and ethical behavior of an individual. Our next topic is all about internal factors in decision making. Internal factors that affect decision making include attitude, emotions, and ethics. So attitude is how you react when faced with deciding. It is the best to have a positive attitude because it often helps one see more options as well as make decision making easier. Decision can also made based on how you feel. This emotional decision making can lead to poor decisions or roadblocks and should generally be avoided. The last factors is ethics. Ethics is influence the way you live, and an unethically motivated person will make decisions based on what they believe is just and fair. Values, goals, and priorities are the foundation upon which wise decisions are made. So our last topic is all about internal factors that influence the formation of values. So the first one is conscience. The concept of conscience, as commonly used in its moral sense, is the inherent ability of every healthy human being to perceive what is right and what is wrong, and on the strength of this perception, to control, monitor, evaluate the execution their actions. Such values as right or wrong, good or evil, just or unjust, and fair or unfair have existed throughout human history but are also shaped by an individual cultural, political, and economical environment. So the next one is the empathy. The term empath comes from the empathy, which is the ability to understand the experiences and feelings of others outside of your own perspective. Some people known as empaths have such high empathy that they seem to take on the feelings of others. So if you are an empath, you might find yourself absorbing the emotions of those around you. When they experience joy, you get caught up in their happiness. So the last one is the self-discipline. It's the ability to push yourself forward, stay motivated, and act regardless of how you're feeling physically or emotionally. Motivation and willpower contribute to it, as do persistence, the ability to follow through on your intentions, and hard work. So it is defined as being able to take a stronger stand against temptation than a less disciplined person. It allows you to stay focused on your goals. It enables you to stay in control of yourself and of your reaction to any situation. All grade 7 students, thank you for listening to me. Have a good day.
So, good morning class. Welcome grade 7 student. I'm your teacher for today's lessons. I'm Demi Maris Pacal. You can call me Miss Demi or Ma'am Demi. And our topic for today is identifying the external factors that influence the formation of values. So, these are the things that shape our appreciation of the material, environmental, and the other aspects. List of external factors that influence the formation of values. First is family. Second is teacher and educator of religion. Third is fellow youth. Fourth is cultural heritage. And fifth is social economic background. And lastly, media. So first is family. The family is not considered the foundation of the family is not only considered the foundation of society, but the foundation of an individual's personality. So, according to William B. Shannon, when parents do not strive to teach and shape their children or child appreciation, they are not taught to be free so that their children can shape themselves. The parent is given the right to build the structure of their children's behavior and values. Parents also serve as teacher in every home. They are the first to see us when we come to this wonderful earth, and the first to teach us love because of their example. Next. Teacher and educator of religion. She can help a child to expand his mind and understand his ability to acquire wisdom to use it only for truth and goodness. So like parents at home, the teacher plays an important role in shaping values. A teacher who teaches and set a good example has a long-term impact on a child's desire to love the truth and live the ideals of that instructor. So next is fellow youth. One has a strong influence on a child is his fellow youth. It is necessary for you to be extremely careful and steadfast to resist the evil influence they can exert on you. You need to keep your moral principles strong so that you can uphold your values. So you can have many friends, but don't center your life on them. As a young person like you goes through a stage of emotional and social change, your desire to be accepted, especially by your fellow youth, becomes stronger. You want to be part of a group to feel that you are accepted by them, to be a recognizable part. So next is cultural heritage. It must be borne in mind that real importance of cultural heritage is to have a high degree of social change achieved due to the formation of the mind to seek wisdom and truth, and to practice the instinct to choose the good, practice virtue and live moral law. Be critical and ability to resilience and not submit to the wrong influence of society. Next is social economic background. One of the basic human rights is to meet his basic needs. He needs to adequate nutrition, clothing, shelter, and medicine and rest. So, according to Esteban 1990, has a two social economic condition. So, these are the wealthy and unwealthy. So, the first is wealthy is where she receive far too much money for his own needs. So the unwealthy, whereas a person does not meet his basic needs. Next is media. The mind needs to be trained to assess the quality of any information to be received or product to be enjoyed. Learn to exercise self-control at times by practicing virtues. Learn to turn away from the temptation and of commercial shows that portray immortality. So we cannot overlook the benefits it's provide to person in today's fast-paced world. It is critical that person understand, however, the risk of influencing a child, particularly those reckless conveyed by the media, exists on the opposite side of its attractiveness. So practice this kind it is necessary to expand the knowledge of general truth and moral law in opposition to the materialistic and selfishness desire of a man under the guidance of parents and teachers. That's it, class. Thank you for listening and see you next time. God bless. Thank you.
Hello students! Our lesson for today is lesson 13.1, Dreams. I know all of you have a dreams after you graduate in college and we want to pursue your dreams to be successful someday. So what is your dreams in life? But first, let me discuss about what are the difference between dreams and dreams. Dreams is a part of our life. Like you, a student, you study to pursue your dreams in life and all the victories in life start with a dreams. Dreams is different from dream. Dream is an imagination in your head while you are sleeping, and when you awake, it ends after you wake up. Fantasy is not a dream. Fantasy is a huge imagination and it results a situation or happenings on what you want or based on your want. Some are doing fantasy on their head to lessen their stress or their problem. By this, it helps them to entertain themselves. Why do we need to have a dreams in life? First, it is good to have a dreams and ambition because it can happen someday or in the future. Second, it makes a motivation and inspiration to pursue your dreams in life. Start your dreams with a plan. Always remember that a person who has a dream is always ready. To be prepared, work hard, and giving his diligence. Desire to make it happen his dreams in life. Believe in yourself that your dream will come true. What is your goal in life? Goal is your purpose on what is your going in the future. Goal is the one who gives you a direction and gives you a meaning in life by achieving it. Goal setting standards. SMARTA. S is specific. If you know already what is your goal. M, measurable. It measures you on how you love your course. Is your grades is enough to enter on your favorite course? It is enough on your financial to support your studies. A, attainable. If you want to pursue, you need to think the challenges if you take that course. R, relevant. Is really relevant to pursue your goal in life? You need to decide what is the right thing to do and right thing to choose. T, time bound. Think the time you spend while you are pursuing your goal. A, action oriented. It should make an action to deal with a problem or a situation. There are two types of goals, short-term goal and long-term goal. Short-term goal is you can achieve it in one day or within a week or a month. Long-term goal is you can achieve it in 1 semester, 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years. Long-term goal is meaningful and important goal, but when you achieving a long-term goal can result to a negative perspective to achieve his goal in the future. That's all for today, class. Now, let's have an activity. Design your life by writing 100 life goals.
What is normative ethics? Normative ethics is the study of ethical action. It is the branch of philosophical ethics that investigates the sets of questions that arise when considering how one ought to act, morally speaking, and is concerned with criteria of what is morally right and wrong. So, to be short, normative ethics is a philosophical study about ethical action. It's the study of how a person should act based on the criteria of what is morally right or morally wrong in today's society. We should do to others what we would want others to do to us. So, are you guys all familiar with that Filipino saying that wag nating gawin sa iba yung ayaw nating gawin ng iba sa atin? So, it's like that, but in kind of an opposite way. For example, I don't want other people to upbraid me, like sumbatan ako. So I really try my best every time if there's a chance not to upbraid people as well, no matter how mad or sad I am about the situation, because I don't want someone to upbraid to me like that. And for other example, for this naman is that if you want to feel love, you should love as well, like that. How would you expect someone to love you if you can't even love yourself, right? So that's like another example. So do you have any other example about this goal? Next is about three major approaches in normative ethics. First is virtue ethics, second is consequentialist ethics, and third is deontological or duty-based ethics. But today we're just gonna focus on virtue ethics, and we're gonna discuss the other two if we have a time. Next time. So what is virtue? A virtue is an excellent trait of character. To possess a virtue is to be a certain sort of person with a certain complex mindset. A significant aspect of this mindset is the wholehearted acceptance of a distinctive range of consideration as a reason for action. So what is virtue in Tagalog? Virtue in Tagalog is kabaitan or kabutihan, right? So eventually, virtue is a good trait that people should possess. And as said here, people who's kind-hearted are almost like very considerate person. Like they considerate situation and the person first before they judge something. They really try to understand everything well before they share their thoughts or they give their opinions, and before they make their actions. Virtue ethics is a philosophy developed by Aristotle and other ancient Greeks. It is the quest to understand and live a life of moral character. So who is Aristotle? Aristotle was a Greek philosopher and a polytilian during the classical period in ancient Greece. Taught by Plato, he was the founder of the Lyceum, the Peripatetic school of philosophy, and the Aristotelian tradition. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. I honestly believe in this quote because, for example, we are what we repeatedly do. If a person like cheated for a first time, you can call it a mistake. But if he do it for the second time or third time or many times, then it's not a mistake at all. It's his or her choice na. So that clearly gave him her a name, which is a cheater. He or she is clearly a cheater for doing that so many times. And for this naman, excellence then is not an act but a habit. For example, I get used to saying thank you whenever I buy something and the seller or the tendera gave me what I bought. I just simply reply with thank you. Or whenever I ride public transportations such as jeepneys, tricycles, except for trains because you don't actually meet the driver. I said whenever they drop off, when I say para na because that's my destination or that's where I'm supposed to drop off, I always say thank you. So one time, we go to this park in Quezon City and the driver was really meant for that certain area, but my auntie and uncle they asked him to drop us off past the area he was supposed to be stopped. So when he dropped off us on that area, I said thank you, and my uncle asked me, why did you say thank you? Did he give you something? And I said, no, it was just that I get used to it. I get used to saying thank you, even just to thank people for small kind gestures. That's why I believe that excellence then is not an act but a habit. And saying thank you is like an action or an action that shows an excellence in a person. Being thankful for just getting that small kind gestures or receiving something, even something little, is a big part of being an excellence person. Virtue ethics can remind us of the importance of role models. If you want someone to learn ethics, show them an ethical person. I believe in this as well. So, why do virtue ethics can remind us of the importance of role models? I really like browsing on the internet, and one time I browsed on my Facebook, I see this post that if you can't find a kind person, be the kind person. Excuse me. So, kung hindi ka daw makakita ng mabait na tao, ikaw na lang yung maging mabait na tao. So, in that way, you start with yourself. And by starting by yourself, you can maybe influence others to do what good you're doing as well. Inspire them to be kind and to be excellent and to do kindness in this world, because the world really needs kindness. So if you can't find a kind person, be the kind person. And if you want people to learn kindness, inspire them to be kind. That's what this says. Be an inspiration. Be the start, be the change. If you can find anything or anyone else to do it first, be the first. Show them how to act kind. Show them how to be kind. Like that. The importance of education in preparation for a job, work, and business. So what is education? Based on the definition given by English Dictionary, education is both the act of teaching knowledge to others and the act of receiving knowledge from someone else. Education also refers to the knowledge received through schooling or instruction and to the institution of teaching as a whole. So whenever we hear the word education, what comes to our mind first is like school, right? Because we learn things mostly at school. Education, based on the given definition, was what you learn from someone else or what you teach to someone. According to Plato, education is a supportive process for the overall development of the body and mind according to the child's own abilities. According to Socrates, education is the name of knowing oneself. Education is the endeavor to fully develop the developing self that man possesses, based on Sage Arvind. Students develop body and mind, and through it realize the sweetness and truth of life, based on Aristotle's philosophy of education. Education is attempts for balanced development of body, mind, and soul of a person. M.K. Gandhi. So there's a lot of definition about education based on this, but what do you really think when you hear the word education? It could be like, based on Sage Arvind, education is the endeavor of fully develop and developing self of a man. Or if you would ask me how I define education as a life lesson you learn throughout the years you live your life. The lessons you have collected every time you learn something about life. You learn something new about life by surpassing all of your achievements and your problems. You learn something from that, and that for me is education. Why is it important? For you guys, why is education important? It could be that it can help us get a high-paying job, or it could help us leave the country, it could help us to be rich, like that. There's a lot of really reason why education is important, right? So these are the 10 benefits showing why education is important to our society. 1. Creating more employment, of course, opportunities. 2. Securing a higher income, of course. If you study, you really aim to have a job that have a high income, right? So that you can buy what you want, or you can provide for your family. Developing problem-solving skill. This is important too. If through education you learn how to solve different problems, improving the economy, especially if you're gonna work here in our country, you really would help our economy to improve, because you're becoming a part, you're working for our country. So that's a really, really big bag to our country. Providing a prosperous and happy life. Through education, and with education, of course, we get a high-paying job, which give us high salary that could lead to living prosperous and happy life. You wouldn't be happy if you have high salary and you can buy something you want and something you dream of, like house, a car, like that. Giving back to the community. If you are educated, you know how important giving back to the community is. So this is another reason why education is important. Creating modern society. So as the years pass by, of course, we innovate, and the innovation is continuous, right? So through education, kaya nating sumabay sa pagbabago na yan. Bridging the borders. bridging the borders. 9. Creating equal opportunities. And 10 is introducing empowerment. It's introducing empowerment. Does education prepare you for working life? Do you think? For me, it could be a yes or no. But mainly yes, of course. Really studying, especially in college, you pick your course, and that course will eventually teach you or prepare you for the job you will apply in the future. So, yes, depends on your situation and depends on you. But it's a higher chance that education prepare you for working life. 5 reasons why education helps to advance your career at any level. Gain knowledge. Of course, through education, you gain a lot of knowledge. You gain something new. And that knowledge will eventually help you, right? Enhance your soft skill. There's nothing an education can do to enhance your soft skill. If you can do this, you can learn it, and eventually you will get better at it. That's great about education. Demonstrate a strong work ethic. Boost your confidence for success. Of course, if you're educated and if you're confident in your knowledge, you know that you have something in you, that you have knowledge in that, it will of course give you confidence and confidence for your success, for your own success. Grow your social network. So I believe that this is about your network and connections to other people, like that. The importance of education in finding jobs and education. Educational requirements. Improve job skills, opportunities for advancement. Of course, education is very important of finding job, because no matter how you deny it, like it's rarely for a company to accept an applicant that is not college graduate. Like they said, that K-12 was actually meant for the poor to not go to college if they don't have money, because they're already studying senior high school. But it's not. I also look for a job before, and mostly I see that it is clearly needed, or it is one of the requirements that you are college graduate, like that. For educational requirements, yeah, that's what I said. Improve job skills. Of course, through education, like what I said earlier, you can learn a lot of things. You can learn new things, and you can enhance your skill by learning. That's how important education is. Opportunities for advancement. If you learn something, then you advance. That's like a stepping stone, a stair. You learn something new and new each day, and eventually you'll reach your goal, you'll reach the top. And that's how the importance of education in finding a job. So for you guys, grade 7s, why do you think education is important? Of course, education is important, but I advise to you that you should not drain yourself in studying. It's okay to study, but find a time to de-stress and relax as well, because what would you do to your knowledge if you're already like very depressed and you're in the verge of taking your own life. I suggest that you should take a break every once in a while and not study every day. Find the time to also relax. Of course, education is important, but remember that health is more important. Your life is more important. That's it. Thank you.